Hi everybody and welcome to my beginner's quick start guide to how to play PUBG. Well, the controls of PUBG, because they can be pretty complicated to be honest. So I thought I'd try and use some of my experience of playing quite a lot on the Xbox and bring that to PUBG and talk about some things maybe you haven't come across. Now actually I will always mention it, so the first thing you should always do is press and hold the options button. And your controller settings, always set controller preset type B. That's what you want. That's the one, so aiming down sights is like Call of Duty and Battlefield. Also, to start off with, make sure that you've got on-screen button hints on as well, because they kind of give you a clue on the right-hand side of the screen about what's going on. So, forgive me if I'm teaching to suck eggs, but obviously you've got the basic movements on the left stick. If you tap the circle button, you will crouch. If you hold the circle button, you'll lie down, depending on the terrain. Sometimes you can't. Tap it again to crouch, stand up. Obviously, right stick controls the direction you're facing. When you're moving forward, if you click down on the left stick, you'll start to sprint. Click it down again, and you'll start to run again. You can crouch sprint as well. And obviously, you can jump. When you're moving, if you press and hold the top shoulder button, top right shoulder button, you can then move the camera while you're moving in the same direction, allowing you to look behind you. If you tap the top right shoulder button, you go into third person mode. And that works for vehicles as well. You can change your weapons with triangle. Press and hold square to reload. Press the left trigger to aim down sights. Press the top left shoulder button to do a soft aim. So this is good for close quarter combat. And then if you click in the right stick, you can lean to the right. Click into the left stick, and it'll kind of lean to the left, like so. And you can flick round to get around corners. So to say we were coming around a Jeep, you kind of lean there and lean there. When you're in aim down sight, so left trigger pressed, and you right click, you'll lean right. And you'll lean left. Really good for stopping yourself getting headshot and for making sure that you can kind of peek out and shoot at people. When you aim down sight, let's see the red dot in the middle. If you press and hold the right shoulder button and then press up on the left stick, you'll dim the reticle. Pull it down, you'll make it brighter. If you press up on the D-pad, you can change your reticle. If you want to change the colour of the blood in the game, go into the settings, go into graphics, gameplay, and change the colourblind mode to Deuteranopia, and that I think changes the blood to purple. We won't worry about that for now. Okay, so obviously, what we got next? So, while we're on weapons, if you press the left on the D-pad, that will change between full auto and single or burst, depending on your weapon. Press up on the D-pad, and you will get your melee weapon out. Press down on the D-pad, and you will cycle through your meds. So first, you probably see it just underneath my right elbow. First aids, bandages, adrenaline syringe, painkillers, and the big med pack. Let's talk about picking things up. So let me drop a couple of things. So if we let's drop these bits here for my gun. So when you're coming to pick things up, you can just pick things up with square and it will kind of pick them up one at a time. Then if you press your options on your controller, and then can you do it? Yeah, you press right on the shoulder button, you can come across to what you've got in your backpack. Then if you press X, that will then equip that to one of your weapons. So I can equip that to the M16, or see how I'm going up and down, or I can say I want to equip that, the extended mag, to either my M16 or my M416. And then suppressor, I could actually I'm pressing so let me explain that a little bit better. So I'm going up and down on my D-pad to select the suppressor. I then press X to equip. I then can press up and down on my D-pad to choose which gun to equip it to. So if I equip it to the M416, the compensator goes back in my backpack, and then I could put it onto the M16 if I wished. If you didn't have enough room in your backpack, it would automatically drop the other item. So let's go along and let's just drop some other stuff as well now. So let's drop that. Let's drop all that stuff. Another option, which is quicker when you have multiple options, you come up to something, but instead of picking it up with square, press the options to bring up your inventory, and you see on the left hand side we've got what's on the ground. And what you can do without putting it in your backpack, you can just press X straight away. Press X once and then you can choose which gun to apply it to. Press X again and it'll put it on the gun. So this compensator here, press X once to select it and press X and it puts it on the gun. 6x scope, press X, press it on there. And so we're getting around, we're taking away the step of putting it in our backpack. Now obviously left L1 and R1, the bumper buttons, we can go between the bits we want selected. To go up and down quickly on these lists, obviously you can use the D-pad to go up and down like that, but if you press the right trigger it will jump down in steps like that. If you haven't got a grenade equipped straight away when you pick one up, again just press X and that will put it in the slot. Let's quickly go back to the M16. So the M16 has got the 6x scope on. To zoom in and out on the 6x scope or the 8x scope or the 15x scope, they're all the variable ones, aren't they? Press the right shoulder and press up and down on the right stick whilst keeping your finger on the left trigger and the right shoulder. We can lean at the same time. While you're aiming down sights with the red dot, if you press and hold the left trigger, you'll hold your breath. And this goes for the 8x as well, and it'll also zoom in a bit on the red dot. You can only do that for so long before you'll see the little lungs item appear, and then you have to recover. It steadies your aim a little bit and then makes you more accurate. Now let's say let's go back into the inventory again. Let's say you wanted to drop a first aid kit to a friend. What you could do is if you press triangle, it drops everything, and they've all dropped on the floor, and you'd be like, no, you can't have both of them. So let's go into the inventory again with options. If you go over to the first aid kit and press and hold triangle, you could just drop one of them. This is especially useful for things like ammunition, where if you go left and right, it does them in single digits on the D-pad. If you go up and down, it does them in 10. So someone might say, I'm getting a bit short of 556. So no problem, you can have half of mine. And you drop it for them. Right. Grenades. If you press right on the D-pad, it will cycle through the different grenades. Once you've got a grenade out, you press the right trigger to aim it. Now this red line that you see is a little bit vague, okay? It doesn't really allow for distance, okay, so take it with a pinch of salt. At this point we are safe. The grenade's not going to go off, and in fact if we didn't want to throw it we wouldn't have to, but let's just get rid of that one so you can see it go off. Boom. Now let's take another one. So this one, so if we wanted to put the grenade away, just press triangle and we get our gun out. Let's get the grenade out again. Now what we can also do is if you press left trigger, you go from a high throw to a low throw or a little toss. So for example, if you wanted to throw a grenade through a high window, you would use that, but if you wanted to just roll one through a door, you do that. Now what you can also do now is, well, you've always been able to, I can pull the pin on the grenade, and I do that with the left top bumper, and then I can cook the grenade. So I'm going to cook the grenade. 1, 2, 3, throw the grenade. That's very useful. It doesn't give people time to get out of buildings and things. Just remember, the fuse on stun grenades especially is very short, as it is on smoke grenades. Okay, I think we have covered almost all the basics. Alright, let's talk about cars a little bit. So when you're in a car, and you're driving, you can press top right bumper to go into first person. If you had any fuel while you're in the car, go into your options, press right bumper to go across, go down to it, and there'll be an option, I think it's X, to use it. Square to get out. Is it square to? Oh right, actually here's a good one. When you're in a car, press A to swap between seats, and press the aim down sight button to lean out and start firing. There we go, circle to get out. Be very careful of doing circle when you drive along because you will die. Map. When you're in the map, you can move everything around with the joypad, the right stick, and you can zoom in and out on the D-pad. And you can put a marker down by pressing in on the right button, and then you can get rid of it by pressing triangle. These are very good for marking the centres of the circles or marking places that you and your squad or your duo want to go. We will have at some point the ability to mark points, and the way that that will work, 3D marking, is say I wanted to mark where that Jeep was, I would look at it without aiming down sights, click in the right stick, and then what you would see on my compass at the top is the colour. So if I was yellow, it would come up yellow, and then that would have marked that Jeep in 3D space, so all my teammates would then be able to look and see where it was. It only stays there for a second or two, so just be aware of that. Right, are there any other hints? When you're using bandages, so to use your medic thing, you can bring it up pressing down on the D-pad and then press and hold to use it. You can start using it again just before it gets to the top of the clock if you want to use them quickly. Sometimes it's easier to, depending on how you feel, to quickly go into your inventory and then use a first aid kit or something like that. If you move too much while you're using first aid or adrenaline syringe or a painkiller, it will cancel the process. If you're a passenger in a vehicle, you can bandage, you can first aid and use medical stuff, as long as the car isn't jiggling left and right too much or bumping around. If it does, it will be cancelled. You can't do that if you're the driver. Woo! I think we've talked about everything. Yes, I think that's it really. We've covered everything I wanted to say. So if you've got any other questions, please put them in the comments box down below, and I will use them to come up with new videos to help keep everybody, well, get everybody up to speed on PUBG, because it is a complicated game when it comes to the controls, and some things, some things just aren't obvious, and you may get to do something like my big one is using the triggers to jump up and down on the inventory. You might go, oh wow, that will save me so much time. Anyway, that's enough from me. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon.